Hello lovely students and welcome back to English with Lucy. Today we're focusing on the C1 level. This is the level that everybody seems to want to achieve, but it's really difficult. Today I'm going to test you. I have got 25 C1 level grammar questions, and I'm not just going to tell you the answer, I'm also going to explain the correct answer. So hopefully two things will happen. First, you'll learn if you are nearing the C1 level, and two, you will learn some grammar too. Hello, it's Lucy from the future here. There's a reason for this. Basically, as always, I've created a beautiful PDF to go with this lesson, but I've decided to make this one extra special. Instead of just giving you my amazing PDF that covers everything we're going to learn in this lesson, I've actually integrated it into my brand new C1 Business English ebook. For a limited time only, you can download this for free and it contains your PDF. Now, this isn't just any ebook, it is your ultimate guide to achieving C1 level fluency in business English. Inside, you will find all 25 grammar questions from today's lesson with detailed explanations to help you fully grasp each concept. You'll also get an extra 25 advanced grammar questions for revision, practice them after the lesson or a few days later to solidify your learning, plus all the content of my C1 Business English ebook. This includes all the grammar, all the vocabulary and pronunciation you need to confidently navigate professional communication at the advanced level of English. When you download this incredible ebook, you will also be enrolled on the waiting list for my Professional English Program Level 3. The doors to this program open very soon for a limited time only. This is my most comprehensive business English program yet. It's designed to help you reach the C1 level of professional English and feel the freedom of communicating naturally and confidently in any workplace situation. It's launching very soon, and you'll be the first to hear about it. To download the ebook that also contains your PDF, just click on the link in the description box or scan the QR code on screen now. You'll sign up to my mailing list and I'll send that ebook directly to your inbox. Enjoy it, it's a special one. Okay, let's get started with the quiz. For the first 4 questions, we're going to focus on conditional structures. Question number 1, we're looking at the conditional structures here. What word can replace if in this sentence to make it sound more formal? If you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. The missing word is should. We can use should in place of if in first conditional sentences to increase the formality of the sentence. We tend to use it more when writing than speaking. Ready for 2? We have another conditional here. What 2 words can be added to this sentence to make the situation less likely? If you speak to Colin, tell him I loved his presentation. Any ideas? The missing words are happen to. If you happen to speak to Colin, tell him I loved his presentation. If we use the regular conditional, if you speak to Colin, tell him I loved his presentation, we think it's likely the person will speak to Colin. By adding happen to, it's like saying, if by chance you speak to Colin. The phrase were to works here too. It also makes the event less likely and is a more formal structure. And a bonus point, if you can tell me what word we can add here. We can add should here to convey the same meaning. It can also replace happen to completely. So we can say, if you happen to or were to speak to Colin, if you should happen to speak to Colin, and if you should speak to Colin. Ready for number 3? What word can we add to this conditional structure to make a polite request? If you take a seat, I'll let Miss Williams know you're here. Was this one an easy one for you? The missing word can be will or would. If you will or would take a seat. Here, the use of will or would makes the request sound more polite. You'll often hear the phrases if you would kindly, or if you would be so kind as to. Can you think of a way to finish those two sentences? Here are my examples. If you would kindly complete the questionnaire, we'd appreciate it very much. And if you would be so kind as to assist with the onboarding of your replacement, that'd be very helpful. Okay, I've got one last question focusing on advanced conditionals. Number 4. This mixed conditional sentence talks about a hypothetical past with a present result. Complete the sentence with the verbs in brackets. You need one word in each space. If you follow the instructions, we not have this conversation now. Ready for the answers? The correct sentence should be, if you had followed the instructions, we would not be having this conversation now. Let's break this sentence down. In the first part, we have if plus the past perfect. This describes the event that did or did not happen in the past. If you'd followed the instructions means you did not follow the instructions. The second part of the sentence describes the result of this hypothetical past. We wouldn't be having this conversation now. This result is hypothetical as we are having this conversation now. The structure is would or wouldn't plus base verb, or sometimes be plus ing verb for an action happening now. We wouldn't be having. Mixed conditionals like this can take a bit of getting used to. Try writing some of your own examples with this structure to help you gain confidence. Okay, let's move on to another grammar point now. It's actually another conditional, but that's not the focus of the question. Here's number 5. What word can we add to this sentence to show that the speaker disapproves of Stuart's behaviour? Well, if Stuart leave tasks until the last minute, it's no surprise that he keeps missing deadlines. Any ideas? Do you want a clue? The first letter is W. The answer is will. Well, if Stuart will leave tasks until the last minute, it's no surprise that he keeps missing deadlines. So will isn't just used to talk about the future. We can use will for many other reasons, including to express our disapproval of someone's repeated actions or behaviour. We normally stress the word will in these sentences. Here's another example. He will insist on micromanaging every detail. Question number 6. Which one of these sentences is correct? A. I'm not sure where is the meeting. B. I'm not sure where the meeting is. The correct answer is B. I'm not sure where the meeting is. This is what is called an embedded question. This structure can be a little confusing as embedded questions follow the typical subject plus verb order for statements. I'm not sure where the meeting, the subject, is the verb. I know many learners sometimes automatically switch to the question order when they say or write a word like where, who, when, and so on. But these embedded questions aren't technically questions, so we put the subject first and then the verb. Here are a few more examples. I don't know how the customer feels. I've forgotten what my password is. Okay, question 7. How can we complete this sentence? It's time we A. address, B. addressed, or C. will address inequality in the workplace. The correct answer is B. addressed. It's time we addressed inequality in the workplace. We use the expression it's time plus a verb in the past to talk about the present. It's time we addressed inequality in the workplace means I think we should do this now. We often use it to say that we think something should have been done sooner. We should have started addressing workplace inequality sooner, maybe even a long time ago, so I think we should start doing this as soon as possible. We can add about or hi to the phrase to make a recommendation or suggestion stronger or more urgent. For example, it's high time we finalise the deal before a competitor beats us to it. Or, it's about time you handed in your notice. You should have done this earlier, now it's becoming more urgent. Number 8. What word can replace rather in this sentence? I'd rather work from home on Fridays than go into the office. You can only replace the word rather and you can't change or add any other words. The meaning of the sentence should remain the same. Tricky. The first letter is S if you're looking for a clue. The correct answer is sooner. I'd sooner work from home on Fridays than go into the office. We can use the expression would sooner do something than something else with the same meaning as would prefer to do or would rather do. For example, I'd sooner walk away from the negotiation than agree to unfavourable terms. Or I'd sooner reschedule the client call than rush through it unprepared. Notice how we need the bare infinitive, the infinitive without to for both verbs. This is a great advanced structure to use when you want to talk about preferences and priorities. For question 9, we're focusing on modals of probability. Your task is to identify the word that increases the probability of the statement being true. The sentence is, he could, may, or might be promoted this year. Could, may, and might are synonyms in this context. Which word can you add to the gap to express a greater likelihood of the promotion happening? Is it A, likely, B, well, C, possibly, and D, definitely? The correct answer is B, well. We use well after the modals could, may, and might to show we think there is a strong possibility of something happening. Want to make it even stronger? Just add very. He may very well be promoted this year. Time for question 10. Which of these sentences conveys criticism of the other person's behaviour? You must, might, or may have told me you were going to be late. You A, must, B, might, or C, may have told me you were going to be late. What do you think? The correct answer is B. You might have told me you were going to be late. We can use the structure might have plus past participle to express our disapproval and criticism of someone's actions or behaviour. Intonation and tone of voice are very important here, as this structure is also used for past possibility. Listen to the difference. You might have told me you were going to be late. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. You might have told me you were going to be late. Can you hear the annoyance in my voice the second time? We cannot use must or may to express criticism like this. Okay, how's your score doing out of 10? Let's move on to 11. What is the difference in meaning between these two sentences? A. Lucinda didn't need to submit the report today. And B. Lucinda needn't have submitted the report today. Do you need a clue? Okay, in which sentence did Lucinda definitely submit the report? That's right. In sentence B, Lucinda submitted the report, but it wasn't necessary. Sorry, Lucinda. There are some more examples of this in the PDF. Question 12. Can you rewrite this sentence beginning with what? The last-minute design change delayed the product launch. Do you need some help? Here's a clue. Just one word is missing. What delayed the product launch? The last-minute design change. Are you ready? What delayed the product launch was the last-minute design change. We use what clauses plus be to emphasize new information. The new information comes after the verb to be. In this example, the last-minute design change is the new information being emphasized. Bonus question for you here. Can we switch the order of the clauses in this sentence? The answer is yes, we can. We can put the what clause at the end of the sentence. The last-minute design change was what delayed the product launch. Which do you prefer? These advanced structures really help you add emphasis and clarity to your English, especially in a professional setting. Remember, my professional English program Level 3 waiting list is now open. This program will guide you beyond just understanding these grammar points. You'll learn how to apply them naturally in the workplace. The link is in the description, or you can scan this QR code here. It's going to be a fantastic program. Do not miss out. Okay, we're just over halfway through the quiz. For question 13, let's look at another structure that can be used for emphasis. Rewrite this sentence beginning with the word never. We've never had so many customer complaints in 1 month. Are you ready? Here's the answer. Never have we had so many customer complaints in 1 month. Did you change the subject-verb order to question word order? We use this formal structure to emphasize what we are saying. Use never plus auxiliary verb plus subject. For example, never can we repeat this mistake, or never had we received so much positive feedback. In some structures, be is the main verb and we don't need to use an auxiliary verb. For example, never were we more confident about an idea. We can use this inverted structure with many more words and phrases like no sooner and not only. I've left a lot more information about this in the PDF, so don't forget to click that link and download that. Question 14. Let's have a look at another sentence with an inversion. Little did he know he was about to lose his job. Which of the following sentences have the most similar meaning? A. He knew he was going to lose his job. B. He had a little information that made him think he might lose his job. Or C. He had no idea he was going to lose his job. The correct answer is C. He had no idea. We use the expression, little did somebody know, understand, realize, suspect, and so on, to say that somebody had no idea that something would happen or was true. Okay, question 15. I have another inversion for you. I love inversions. Let's take a look at this sentence. The negotiations were so tough that both sides had to compromise on key points. Can you rewrite the sentence beginning with the word so? Are you ready for the answer? This one's juicy, it sounds beautiful. So tough were the negotiations that both sides had to compromise on key points. Can you see what we've done here? We've moved so plus adjective to the beginning of the sentence, and then we have the inversion. So cool. This structure also works with adverbs. For example, so quickly did he speak that I couldn't understand a word of his presentation. Inversions like that to me just sound gorgeous, and we cover them in the PEP 3 program, the Professional English Program Level 3. Okay, question 16. Let's take a look at an advanced passive structure. How can we restructure this sentence so that the subject comes at the beginning of the phrase? It is alleged that the CEO is stepping down later this year. Did you manage to do it? It's the CEO is alleged to be stepping down later this year. We often use the structure in the first sentence, it plus passive verb plus that clause, to avoid saying who made a statement. You've probably heard it is thought, believed, or claimed that. Well, with some verbs, we can also use the structure subject plus passive verb plus to infinitive, as in the second example. The CEO, the subject, is alleged, passive verb, to be stepping down, to infinitive. I always think of Buzz Lightyear when I say to infinitive. To infinitive and beyond. Okay, let's go to number 17. Take a look at these sentences. Which linking word fits best? The presentation was interrupted by technical issues. The presenter maintained her professionalism and delivered the key points clearly. Is it A, furthermore, B, likewise, or C, nonetheless? The correct answer is C, nonetheless. It's also the most fun to say, second only to nevertheless. Nonetheless is a synonym of nevertheless, and it means despite this fact. So in other words, we can say despite interruptions due to technical issues. We use furthermore to add information and likewise to compare similarities between two or more things. Let's stick with linking words for question 18. Which option correctly completes this sentence? The company reported a rise in profits last quarter, a modest one, due to increased demand for its services. Is it A, albeit, B, in spite of, or C, even if? The correct answer is A, albeit. The pronunciation is albeit, not albeit. I thought it was albeit when I was a child because I'd never heard it said out loud. Albeit. This has a similar meaning to although, but it's generally used in more formal contexts and usually follows a comma. I've included more info on the different structures that follow these linkers in the PDF. Number 19. Which of the following options is not correct? It is essential that the report A is, B, or C will be submitted next Friday. The incorrect answer is C, will be. This sentence can be completed with is or in the subjunctive mood using be. In English, we often use the subjunctive mood after phrases like it's recommended and it's vital. The present subjunctive form is usually just the base form of the verb, in this case, be. Number 20, we're on the home straight now. Try and rewrite the second sentence so that it has the same meaning as the first. There are 3 gaps. 1 word is needed in each space. 1, I didn't want to offend the client, so I worded the email very carefully. 2, I worded the email very carefully, so offend the client. Are you ready? The missing words are as, not, to. I worded the email very carefully so as not to offend the client. That sounds gorgeous, if I do say so myself. So as not to is a synonym for in order not to. Here's another example. We didn't want to discourage the new employee, so we offered constructive feedback. We offered constructive feedback so as not to discourage the new employee. We offered constructive feedback in order not to discourage the new employee. Can you write some of your own example sentences to practice this structure? 21. Let's try another sentence transformation. Here's our first sentence. The problem was too difficult for me to solve by myself. Now, here's the gapped sentence. Put 1 word in each space so that the second sentence has a similar meaning to the first. Was too difficult for me to solve by myself. This one is tricky. Are you ready for the answer? It was too difficult a problem for me to solve by myself. I know, that was hard. We usually put the article a or an before the adjective when it describes a noun, a difficult problem. But in this more formal, emphatic structure, we use to plus adjective plus a or an and then the noun. Here are a few more examples. The investment was too risky to make. It was too risky an investment to make. The decision is too important to be taken quickly. It was too important a decision to be taken quickly. Okay, question 22. This one is really challenging. Take a look at these 3 sentences. Which word can be used to complete all 3? Sentence 1, that was presentation. 2, he's been collaborating with us for quite time. And 3, they have 30 employees in the Mumbai branch. Do you need a clue? The first letter is S. Ready for the answer? It is some. In the first sentence, some is used to express the speaker's favourable opinion of the presentation. In the second, some combines with time to mean a long time. And in the third, some means approximately. Well done if you got some used as a determiner and an adverb. 23. This sentence is grammatically correct. True or false? Attending the conference, new opportunities appeared. The answer is false. The sentence is technically not grammatically correct, although many proficient users of English might write something like this. Can you spot the issue? Let's break the sentence down. The implied subject in the first part of the sentence is I. I attended the conference. The subject in the second part of the sentence is new opportunities. However, in English, we prefer to keep the subject in both parts of the sentence the same. If not, it might be understood that new opportunities attended the conference. So make sure the subject in the participle clause and the main clause are the same to avoid any potential confusion. Okay, time for our penultimate question. 24. Let's look at another participle clause. Which one of these options cannot be used to fill in the blank in this sentence? Draw attention to myself. I didn't say anything in the meeting. Is it A, not wishing to, B, wishing not to, or C, to not wishing? Okay, we cannot say C, to not wishing. Of the two remaining options, A is the most likely. We generally make the participle negative by placing not before it. However, you can sometimes switch the order, like in this example. Okay, well done for sticking it out until the very end. Here is our final grammar question. Number 25. Rewrite this sentence so it begins with the word there. You can only change the first part of the sentence, nothing after the comma. As there were no suitable candidates for the role, the hiring process was extended by 2 weeks. Any ideas? The answer is, there being no suitable candidates for the role, the hiring process was extended by 2 weeks. We can use the phrase there being with the meaning of as or because. It explains the reason for something. It's a formal alternative that's great for use in writing. Okay, that brings us to the end of our advanced grammar test. This was seriously advanced. Please share your scores out of 25 in the comments section. And don't worry if your score was low. Even a low score is quite an achievement. I really hope you enjoyed the quiz today, and I hope it brought to your attention some of the topics you might need to work on if you want to achieve the C1 level of English. Don't forget my brand new C1 level business English course, the Professional English Program Level 3, is coming out very soon. Please join the waitlist if you are interested. The link is in the description and the QR code is there. I will see you soon for another lesson. Bye!